Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2019 annual event for our Psi Upsilon Chapter. This evening is a very special event because it's actually three programs in one. We have our annual business meeting, the installation of our new chapter leaders for the 2019-2020 fiscal year, and my favorite part, the induction of our new members. First, I'd like to welcome all of our chapter leaders, and I will introduce them for you. I am Carol Lisk, and I am the current president of Psi Upsilon. I work at WGU, and I live in Maryland. Our vice president is Debra Abee. Debra resides in North Carolina. Our interim secretary is Janeen, Berndt, and she resides in Indiana. Our treasurer is Vanessa Leigh, and Vanessa is in Houston, Texas. And our faculty counselor is Elsie Chidester, who lives in Delaware. These are your voting officers for the board. Now, we also have a very strong advisory board who attends all of our board meetings and contributes greatly to the success of our chapter, and I'd like to introduce them as well. Phil Tarantino from New York and Shannon Croson from Arkansas are the chair of our finance committee. Governance committee chair is Tammy Owen out of Kentucky. Our induction planning committee chair is Christi Johnson from Utah. Our leadership succession committee chair is Candace Johnson in Michigan. And we have co-chair as well for our membership involvement committee, and that is Patty Rowe from Indiana and Laura Simmons from Tennessee. Now, give me 1 second. I also would like to thank, excuse me 1 second. Well, we have another slide that for some reason won't come up, and that's the remainder of our committees. We have our Service and Philanthropy Committee that's chaired by Heidi Johnson-Anderson. And she's out of South Dakota, and we now have a new chair with that committee, Melody Parsons. We also have our Scholarship and Research Committee that is chaired by Vicki Martin. I have a technology committee that is chaired by Janeen Berndt. And we have our strategic planning committee is chaired by Leanne Farmer and Debra Abee. And our program committee is co-chaired by Jeanette Benson and Tracy Starkey. So I believe I've captured all of our committees. Special thanks to Elsie Chidester and Christi Johnson, who have been very instrumental in putting together our induction ceremony and all the outreach to our qualifying students and nurse leaders, and to Janeen Berndt, who serves as our event moderator.
Excuse me, Carol.
Yes.
This is Janeen. Could you unshare your screen and reshare it? Your slides are not working. Okay. So sorry, everyone, for our technology issues.
Thank you. 1 second. Are you seeing the slide that says Sigma Global Nursing Excellence? Yes. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you all for your patience. So one of the things I like to start our meetings with is a little update and kind of just some opening remarks about Sigma, because it's a very special and wonderful organization, as you know. First, a little bit about our chapter. Our chapter actually started as an honor society at WGU, and after about 5 years of preparation and functioning as an honor society, we qualified to apply for chapter status, and we were actually chartered as the 546th chapter of Sigma, July 12th, 2017. Ken Dion, who's the treasurer of the Sigma Board of Directors, was our chartering officer. Our event was very, very special, and as you can see on the right, our charter lists all of the inaugural members or chartering members of our chapter, both new and those of us that joined as multiple members or transfer members. And we currently have, with this induction, over 1,600 members in our chapter residing in all 50 states. So what is Sigma about? Well, first of all, Sigma is about nursing excellence. And our symbols represent all of the excellence and values of nursing that we hold very dear in our profession. The official name of Sigma is the Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing. And you will see that terminology on our articles of incorporation and our official seal and official documents. And of course, that symbolizes the tenets of our organization. The letters Sigma, Theta, Tau are the Greek letters that represent our enduring values of love, courage, and honor. The crest that you'll also notice on our official documents is emblematic of other symbols that represent the key essential elements of nursing. The lamp at the top represents the lamp of knowledge. The eye that you'll notice in that top reverse triangle represents wisdom and discernment. And the pillars of stone on either side of the crest represent service, professional endeavor, and strength of leadership. You'll also see members wear the key or the pin, which is at the bottom. And recently, since we rebranded, we also added the laurel branch that is placed above the key. The laurel pin, as I said, that's worn above the key, represents excellence of Sigma nurses. You'll notice at the end in the emblem, and you probably can see it a little better in the bottom right corner, that the last three leaves actually are not attached to the branch. So that subtle break of the end leaves was intentional, and it represents the three key tenets of Sigma, and that's scholarship, leadership, and service. The key, or our membership pin, is truly the symbol of scholarship. The Greek letters, Sigma, Theta, Tau, in black, represent our charge, or those values, those enduring values. The cup that resides in the middle denotes the satisfaction of professional life. The lamp represents the lamp of knowledge, and the 6 stars that you see encircling the pin represents our 6 founders. Sigma actually has been in existence. We're moving into our centennial celebration, 100 years. It was started in 1922 by 6 nursing students at what is now the Indiana University School of Nursing. They felt that there should be an organization of nurses that held into high esteem and upheld the enduring values of nursing, and they identified those primary values as love, courage, and honor. Now, currently, Sigma is now known as Sigma Global Nursing Excellence and represents over 500 chapters with more than 130,000 members worldwide. And of those members, we are in 90 countries around the world. So the beauty of Sigma is despite the diversity of membership, countries, continents, we still abide by and follow one mission and one vision. Our mission is to advance world health and celebrate nursing excellence in scholarship, leadership, service. Again, those 3 final leaves on the laurel branch. Our vision is to be the global organization of choice for nursing. So know that although we have a very worldwide reputation of promoting nursing and health of those we serve, it is a lifelong resource to those of us that belong to Sigma. Your membership allows you access to free continuing education hours, as well as discounts on a myriad of continuing education programs, access to career advisors, virtual face-to-face networking opportunities primarily through the Circle, and also access to several scholarly journals, the Journal of Nursing Scholarship, the Research Journal, and they're wonderful. They come to you online and they're available to you as part of your membership in Sigma. There's also some other great opportunities that you should be using. One is Sigma Marketplace, my favorite. Got some wonderful Sigma materials, books, several books we actually use as textbooks at our university and many of the universities around the country and the world. The Circle is a professional networking site that we really encourage you to use to in your member profile, ask for notifications when somebody's posting something in the Circle. And within the Circle, there are groups that highlight different professional domains. So if your area of interest is hospice or palliative care, mother and child care, there are groups that have conversations about current research, best practices. People will post, gee, I have this issue at work and I'd love your input. So it's a great opportunity to network with nurses around the world. And we also have the Virginia Henderson Global Nursing e-repository. This is a phenomenal library of resources, published and non-published, that also allow you to access white paper, gray papers, unpublished works, and all of the conference proceedings that many of the participants will either upload of their own work or all of the Sigma conferences. Now, Sigma's global reach is phenomenal, and one of the most exciting things that has grown in the world of Sigma is our engagement with the United Nations. Several years ago, the United Nations actually elevated our status to what they call ECOSOC status, and it's an economic and social consultant. So not only are we able to listen in and sit in on events, but we also have become participants of the discussion as this elevated status. The other thing that Sigma has done is the Global Advisory Panel on the Future of Nursing and Midwifery. Our Global Initiatives Department at Sigma has undertaken a wonderful project over the last several years where they conducted regional research focus groups around the world to identify trends and concerns in nursing. And it's been summarized in our GAPFON literature that's on the Sigma website. And we as chapters are challenged to look at the Sustainable Development Goals at the UN and to identify GAPFON initiatives that we can support and promote through our chapter programming. So as a member of Sigma, we really do reside in distinguished company. What's interesting to note is about a little over a third of our members have graduate degrees. And as you know, to be eligible for membership, members must have an earned bachelor's degree. So we do represent that importance of scholarship in our graduate programming and accomplishments. 50% of our members are working in a hospital or multi-hospital or clinical setting. And about a little less than 20% actually work in schools of nursing. So Sigma found it very important to be sure that we are identifying programs and initiatives that speak to all of the members of our Sigma family. So when you are a member of Sigma, you are part of a global network of nursing. So what allows us to be feeling like we're of one mind? Well, there's several things. First of all, we have a very robust board of directors that represents Sigma internationally. And every 2 years, or the biennium, we elect and install a new president. And each president has a call to action. Our current president is Beth Baldwin-Tigges from New Mexico. And her presidential call to action for 2017-2019 was connect, collaborate, and catalyze. when we talk about connecting, we really focus on connecting with not only nurses, but other professionals around the world to be the global organization of choice when you look at focusing on consumer needs, world populations, and nursing needs. We also want to collaborate to advance world health and celebrate nursing excellence. But we also know that in order to make a difference, we have to be a catalyst or catalyze for transformational change. So what I'd like to do now is move into our annual business meeting. And this is a great opportunity for you to hear about all of the things that your chapter is doing for you to ensure that not only are we abiding by the mission and vision of our Sigma charter, but also relevant to all of our members. So at this point, I would like to call our annual business meeting to order. And
Excuse me, President List.
Yes.
Could you please refresh your slides again?
I sure will. Thank you.
Sorry.
So you should be seeing our annual business meeting agenda, correct?
It's there.
Whew, thank you. So at this time, I would like to call the annual business meeting to order, and I'll ask Secretary Berndt to confirm quorum. We need to have 3 officers and 7 members present to constitute quorum for an annual business meeting.
We have quorum.
Great, thank you. I also would like you all to look at the agenda for our annual business meeting, and I'll ask one of the officers to please make a motion to approve the agenda as written. Vanessa, would you like to make the motion?
Yes, this is Vanessa, and I approve the agenda. I would like to move to approve the agenda as written.
Thank you. And Debra, Abee, would you like to second that?
I second that.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? So the agenda stands as written. We also have on the next slide our minutes from the last annual meeting in June of 2018. That meeting was recorded and is posted on our website, and it is available for viewing in detail, but I will entertain a motion to approve the 2018 annual business meeting as written. Vanessa?
I move to approve the 2018 annual agenda business meeting as written.
Thank you. And Debra, would you like to make a second to approve these minutes?
I second to approve those minutes.
Thank you. All in favor to approve the 2018 minutes, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The minutes stand approved. So our next order of business is to go through our officer reports and our committee chair reports. We've summarized them on a slide for all of you, but we would love for you to not only have an opportunity to hear about what we've accomplished, but what our goals and hopes for our chapter in 2019-2020 are. So we'll start with the President report. We've just had really a phenomenal year. For a brand new chapter, we have, and it isn't because of me, I am just reporting the great work of everybody else. So in terms of our accomplishments, we refined our chapter operational infrastructure, including our board of directors and our committee structure, which serves as an active advisory board, advisors to the board. We've aligned all chapter activities with the Sigma mission. We've adhered to the approved 2018-2019 strategic plan that aligns with the Sigma mission and the Key Award criteria. And because of that, we have qualified to apply for the Sigma Chapter Key Award. We've also facilitated the development of a financial management process and procedures by instituting an active finance committee, and also by developing and adhering to a balanced budget. We've refined our membership eligibility determination processes by developing academic reports that we are able to pull from our institutional research department for student selection. We've reconfirmed nurse leader selection processes and collaborated with our faculty counselor, Elsie Chichester, and our Sigma staff to refine our online induction processes. We've also facilitated active participation of committee leaders and members in launching all of the committee activities that align with our strategic plan. We've promoted a robust membership recruitment and engagement plan that included alumni outreach, and we currently have, actually with this induction, over 1,600 members in all 50 states. And we have enhanced our collaboration with WGU nursing leadership by promoting chapter events, leveraging our professional development activities to not only our members, but to nursing faculty and staff. And we've also identified a nursing, a chapter liaison who is a member of the nursing leadership team. So our goals for 2019-2020 are to promote ongoing chapter growth through robust leadership development and member recruitment, to support our new communications committee that will develop and implement a strategic communication plan for member outreach, to review membership eligibility criteria in collaboration with our Sigma governance committee, to maintain sound financial management practices, and to achieve the Sigma Chapter Key Award. And now I invite Debra Abee, our Vice President, to provide the Vice President report.
Thank you, President Lisk. As Vice President of Sigma Psi Upsilon, I have assisted as necessary in activities designated by the chapter president, provided oversight in supporting our chapter operations, and collaborated with a strategic planning committee with the goal of, for 2018-2019 to implement our strategic plan and collaborate with each and every committee chair on the progress toward application toward our Sigma Key Award. My goals for this next biennial year of 2019-2020 is to assist as necessary in activities as designated by the chapter president, provide oversight in supporting chapter operations, and continue to collaborate with the strategic planning committee and to update and develop our 2019-2021 strategic plan and to implement that strategic plan. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, Janeen Berndt with our Secretary report.
Thank you, President Lisk. The accomplishments for 2018 and 2019 were actually performed by previous secretaries for our Psi Upsilon chapter. I've only recently been appointed to this position. But in this previous fiscal year, the secretary collaborated with the president to prepare and organize board and annual business meetings, established a repository for chapter documents, provided recognition of members for personal and professional events, and developed a, that one's on there twice. My goals for the 2019-2020 year are to continue to support planning for chapter meetings, to migrate the existing chapter documents to that central repository on the circle, and to collaborate with the communications committees to develop a communication plan and calendar.
Thank you. You can see that we consider that repository pretty important, that we listed it twice. Thank you so much. And Vanessa Leigh will provide us with our treasurer report.
Okay.
Vanessa?
For the treasurer report, my accomplishments for the 2018-2019, I served in the role of treasurer. I collaborated with the president to establish a finance committee, developed the 2017-2019 chapter budget, facilitated the application of our chapter insurance, which was for the board liability and the fidelity bond, monitored chapter finances, and provided monthly reports to the board. The goals for the 2019-2020 to work with the Finance Committee to promote chapter financial security. Also working with the Finance Committee to finalize financial policies and procedure. Continue to monitor all chapter financial activity. And I also have a goal to prepare the monthly reports and deliver those to the chapter board of directors.
Thank you. And now you'll provide a report on our finances.
All right. The total income and expenses for the 2018-2019 fiscal year, we awarded $3,500 in scholarships. Our income was $41,951.11, and for expenses, $9,012.71. And as of today, we have $47,451.38. The financial reports are posted on the chapter website.
Thank you. And I would like to say that during this first biennial experience for the chapter, we have been very blessed as we're starting to see, obviously, our account balance build. And our goal is to ensure that we're able to support our members, and we intentionally looked at our budget with respect to grants and research and scholarships, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in our subsequent report. So thank you very much. Faculty Council report, Elsie Chichester.
Thank you, President Lisk. The accomplishments for 2018-2019 was refining the use of the Sigma online induction system. We collaborated with the chapter president and WGU Institutional Research Department to facilitate identification of eligible student nominees. We facilitated professional student candidates by collaborating with WGU partners to screen academic authenticity and disposition issues. Collaborate with the induction committee to communicate with eligible candidates. We reviewed and processed nurse leader applications. We attended training with the Sigma Ray nursing leaders and getting them accepted to our chapter in an easier manner. My goals for 2019-2020 is work with the induction committee chair and IR to review the student eligibility reports and collaborate with membership to promote new member recruitment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we're going to move to the committee chair reports. Induction Planning Committee report. Christi Johnson was unable to join us this evening, so Elsie Chichester will be providing that report.
Thank you, President Lisk. The Induction Committee accomplishments for 2018-2019, they recruited 2 additional team members and got them approved by the board, created and implemented more efficient process for submitting inductee nominees into the OIS, the online induction system, continued with 3 virtual inductions per year and 1 induction for nurse leaders. We communicated with inductee candidates to facilitate induction. The goals for 2019-2020 to work with the president, the counselor, and IR to review the report criteria eligible student candidates, continue to support chapter president developing presentation for induction ceremonies, and get induction committee members more involved in the induction system. Thank you.
Very much. Finance Committee, Philip Tarantino.
Well, thank you, President Lisk. Our accomplishments this year, we were able to recruit Shanna Croson as a chair, co-chair with me for the Finance Committee, and thank you for that. Ongoing review of all our financial policies and procedures, again, to maintain security and safety. Our monthly reconciliations of our bank statements to our chapter general ledger showed no issues at all. All entries match on a monthly basis, and the annual budget development process for this fiscal year was very successful. It was marvelous. Our goals for the next fiscal year 2019-2020. We're going to continue committee member recruitment, continue that ongoing review of financial policies and procedures, more as an operational thing. As things pop up, let's see how and what we need as we continue to grow and service our members. We're going to open a savings or an investment account to secure chapter funds for future service and support of our membership, which is a beautiful position to be in, and continue to work closely with Vanessa, our treasurer, in budget maintenance and development. And just basically a heartfelt thank you to all the committee members and all the board members for their dedication and effort. It's made it a very positive environment. And to the new members, you have a fantastic organization that I certainly enjoy working with. So thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it. Governance Committee, Tammy Owen. Tammy, were you able to, I think I saw you, right?
I am. Thank you,
Welcome.
President Lisk. So looking at our accomplishments for 2018-2019, we did complete the policy and procedure manual and added policies as they were developed. Our goals for the next year is to continue to develop the chapter governance policies and procedures for board consideration and ensure that all chapter activities are in accordance with established bylaws.
Thank you very much. And as you know, we've had some storms rolling through, so we always wonder a little bit how that's going to impact our virtuosity. So thank you so much, Tammy. Glad you were able to be here. Leadership Succession Committee, Candace Johnson.
Good evening, President Lisk. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
All right. And thank you, everyone. The Leadership Succession Committee has had several accomplishments for this new chapter this past year. We conducted collaborative meetings with Sigma staff and chapter officers and LSC members to plan and execute our first election process for 2019 elections. We conducted the call for nominations last fall and then conducted the chapter election in April of this year very successfully. We reviewed the process for identifying future chapter leaders or soliciting new members interested in leadership roles, and we were successful with that as well, and developed an orientation program and training for new officers coming on board. That was developed in May, and we'll be presenting that training and orientation to new members in June. Our goals for 2019-2020 are to solicit more members interested in leadership roles so that we're always looking at succession planning. And from September 2019 through January 2020, we'll be preparing to distribute call for nominations for the other half of the board members up for election, screen those candidates, and then get the board to finalize the ballot. On February, we'll send that ballot to the board for review and approval, and then conduct another chapter election in April of next year. In addition, following that election, we'll conduct orientation for new officers next May. And thank you very much. It's been a pleasure this year.
Thank you so much. Great work. Membership Involvement Committee, Patty Rowe and Laura Simmons is co-chair now, and Laura will be presenting the report. Laura.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, we're presenting the report. So the accomplishments for this last year included participating in a leadership webinar, completing state-based presentations for Tennessee, Washington, Texas, and developing a draft of a membership survey, which was implemented. Communicating with inactive members, inviting them to renew, and targeting new member outreach to students and alumni. And the goals for this next year will be to launch the membership survey, continue to participate in commencement celebrations and state-based celebrations, promote faculty membership and engagement through academic meetings, articles that are published and sent through the College of Health Professions and emails. Continue to identify strategies that will attract and engage nursing alums, identify strategies to attract nurse leader members. We have developed some emails and other video presentations that will be implemented this year, and also developing an online orientation program for new members, which again will be implemented this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sharing my screen again. Here we go. Oh, all the practice in the world. So are we seeing the membership involvement committee slide now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All righty, our next committee is Program Committee, and presenting on behalf of Co-Chair Benson and Starkey is Kim Dahdal. Kim.
Hi, thank you, President List. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay, great. So our accomplishments for the 2017-2019 year was we assisted in planning and implementation of chapter events, including induction ceremonies and annual business meeting, faculty research symposium, and program activities for members. There was a coordination of program activities with Janeen Berndt for chapter website. We continued development of the Psi Upsilon Leadership Mentoring Program led by myself and my committee. We coordinated the nomination and preparation of the WGU Rising Star presenters. And there was preparation for the Key Award application submission to Sigma for the 2017-2018, and also the 2018 and 2019. The plan for 2019-2020 is to continue to provide programming in support of Sigma mission, the presidential call to action, and Psi Upsilon strategic plan. And you'll also want to watch for a letter going out for interested parties that would like to be involved in the leadership mentoring program. Thank you, President Lisk.
Thank you, and we sure will watch for that. Appreciate it. Are you seeing the Publicity Committee slide? I'd like to ask Melissa McLaren
Yes.
to provide the report. Thank you.
Thank you, President Lisk. So the Publicity Committee had a lot of accomplishments in 2018 and 2019. We collaborated with the Technology Committee to increase our social media presence. We implemented a social media drive at the November 2019 academic meetings. We presented the Psi Upsilon Chapter banners at the Professional Advancement in Nursing reception at those academic meetings. We collaborated with the Membership Committee to increase chapter membership. We collaborated with the WGU commencement coordinators to have Psi Upsilon featured on the alumni website to increase visibility and drive membership. And we also update members via the College of Health Professions newsletter articles and the Sigma Update chapter news that goes out every month. We have some key goals for the 2019 and 2020 year ahead of us. We'd like to continue to collaborate with a number of committees. That's what the Publicity Committee does, is collaborate a lot with others, to have a member appreciation event at academic meetings, to continue to increase our social media presence, to establish a cadence of outreach, communication, and structure through the development of a communications committee. And we are looking for some volunteers. So if you're interested in getting involved with some board activities, please don't be shy about reaching out. And always we want to increase publicity around our chapter events. Thank you, President Lisk.
Thank you so much. And as part of recommendations from Melissa and Janeen Berndt, who's been managing our website and now serving as secretary, we are looking at in this next year to really move forward with the communications committee. That's going to be a wonderful collaboration of the technology, the publicity, and the communication. So we'll see some really exciting things happening in the next fiscal year. Thank you again. Oh, goodness. I think it froze. Oh, my goodness. Okay, hold on one second. There we go. Are you seeing the service committee slide?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to invite Heidi Johnson-Anderson to provide the report for our Service and Philanthropy Committee.
All right. Sorry, kind of blurry here. All right, so thank you, President Lisk. The Service Committee has been busy this year with a number of projects. During the first week of October of 2018, we held the first annual Psi Upsilon Service Week, and during that week, Psi Upsilon members from across the nation participated in service activities and were then invited to share their great work on the Sigma website. So because of the success with this effort, this event is one of our goals for this year. Will be held again in October, and we're looking forward to that. And we encourage everybody to be thinking about potential activities they might participate in during that week. Another service activity that occurred in October was our participation in the Indiana Book Drive at the WGU academic meetings. So in addition to books, we also, the chapter made a monetary contribution of $500 to that effort. The Service Committee's spring goal this year was to identify a cause that aligned with one of the UN Sustainable Goals. And we chose the goal of international health and wellness as the goal we wanted to focus on. And with board approval, we were able to begin focusing our efforts on increasing awareness and decreasing stigmas related to the opioid epidemic. So as a starting point for that work, board approval was secured for Psi Upsilon to become a network member of the National Academy of Medicine Action Collaborative on countering the U.S. opioid epidemic. So our future work with this collaboration will involve collaboration with other national organizations. We'll be developing some educational offerings and then the identification of nursing strategies to address the epidemic. And then lastly, we have recruited Melody Parsons as the new committee co-chair, and we're excited to have her. So thank you.
Thank you. And I'm thinking my slide skipped, and let me see, our service and our scholarship and research committee report slide does not seem to want to. So I will turn this over. Let me see. Will it? Gosh. I'd like to introduce Vicki Martin, who's the chair of our Scholarship and Research Committee, and it's a very exciting report, so I don't want to miss this report. So Vicki, I'm sorry about your slide, but would you be kind enough to provide your report?
Absolutely, I will be. Thank you, President Lisk. We're excited to spend money, and we have been able to do that well this year. We transitioned from a one-time opportunity for grants and scholarships to a biannual scholarship grant opportunity that will be held every January and every August. We did offer grants and scholarships, and as you can hear from the Treasurer report, $3,500 was awarded to recipients. Our goals for this coming year, of course, is to launch our third annual application process, to follow up with previous year recipients with required materials and facilitate the disbursement of funds. And we're also launching 2 new Psi Upsilon Chapter of Sigma scholarships for WGU students. And we're planning to offer Rising Star opportunities to WGU students as well. So a very exciting year ahead.
Very much so. Thank you so much for all your great work.
Thank you.
Now, let me see if I can. This worked beautifully when we were practicing. Strategic Planning Committee, Leanne Farmer and Debra Abee will be presenting the report.
Hi. Thank you, President Lisk. The accomplishments of the Strategic Planning Committee has been that we have implemented the strategic plan and aligned it with the Sigma mission and vision and the Sigma Key Award criteria. We've collaborated with each officer and committee chair to implement the chapter strategic plan, and we accomplished our goal to submit for the Key Award, and we'll submit before July 15 of this year. Our goals for next 2 years, 2019-2020, are to develop the strategic plan for the next 2 years, provide list of strategic goals to chapter leaders based on our new Key Award goals, and to monitor the chapter progress in achieving those goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Technology Committee, Janeen Berndt.
Thank you, President Lisk. In the fiscal year 2018, our Technology Committee maintained the Psi Upsilon Circle website. And actually, just as an aside, this presentation, along with the slides that you weren't able to see, the entire slide deck will be posted on our website if you'd like to go back and take a look at that. We also established and updated the chapter social media accounts, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, which this presentation will also be posted on YouTube. We collaborated with the Publicity Committee to hold a social media drive. We facilitated planning and moderated all chapter events on virtual platforms. We oriented chapter leaders and guests to event platforms, collaborated with chapter officers to post membership orientation video to the website, which is available on the members tab now, to develop and distribute the election ballot, to develop and distribute a membership survey, and to recognize member successes. We have a section on our website that highlights all of the wonderful things that our members are doing. For the fiscal year 2019-2020, as President Lisk mentioned, the Technology Committee will be absorbed into the overarching Communications Committee, and where we will continue to support the chapter's technology needs. We will also support the centralized document repository with the President and President-elect or interim secretary. Thank you, President Lisk.
Thank you. And you know, as we all know, and almost all of our inductees and nurse leaders have had some affiliation with a virtual organization like WGU. It's an imperfect science. So I'm just delighted that we're still broadcasting and we're all together. So that's the most important part. Thank you so much for all your great work. And now we have a special announcement to make. Sigma has a Friends of Nursing Award. And this is conferred by local chapters to an individual or organization not eligible for regular membership or who has impacted the chapter, the local nursing or healthcare community, and or the health of people in a significant way. So when you look at that criteria, they should be committed to the ideals and the purposes of Sigma, have superior achievement in their field of work, and contributed to the long-term significance of the chapter and the nursing profession. This year, we would like to award our Friend of Nursing Award to Julie Adams, the Director of Marketing at Sigma Global Nursing Excellence. The special part of this is Julie is a WG alumna in the College of Business. I'd like to share a little bit about Julie. Are you seeing her bio slide?
Yes, thank you.
Great. Julie has served as the Sigma Director of Marketing and Communications for 6 years. She brings 25 years worth of experience in marketing and communications, overseeing brand management, marketing events, and organizational communication to Sigma. She holds a Master of Science in Management and Leadership and an MBA from Western Governors University. During her tenure at Sigma, Julie led the 3-year brand study culminating in the launch of the new Sigma brand in 2017. She is proud of growing the organization's social media presence, and we are regularly exceeding 10 million impressions on Sigma event hashtags. Another wonderful accomplishment, in March of 2018, Julie was honored to serve as a panelist at Sigma's presentation to the United Nations on the status of women. I can't think of somebody better than you participating in that presentation. So Julie, our heartfelt congratulations to you as our Friend of Nursing Award recipient. And we are so delighted that you're there for Sigma and you're there for us. Thank you so very much. So this concludes our business meeting. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Vanessa, would you like to make that motion?
Yes, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Second, Debra?
I second the motion to adjourn the
Thank
meeting.
you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? I've never heard anybody opposed to end the meeting, so the meeting was adjourned. So now we will install our chapter leadership team for 2019-2020. I would like to introduce Dr. Candace Johnson, who will preside over the installation of our new leadership team. She is the current chair of our Psi Upsilon Leadership Succession Committee. Candace?
Thank you, President Lisk. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
All right. So as chair of the Psi Upsilon Leadership Succession Committee, it is my privilege to install the 2019-2020 officers of this chapter and to recognize them for their nursing excellence and scholarship leadership and service. Its purposes are to recognize superior achievement. Excuse me as I go through these slides a little bit fast. To strengthen the commitment to the ideals and purposes of the profession, and then in addition to promote its professional activities.
Thank you.
So I'd like to announce the 2019-2020 elected chapter leaders. President Carol Lisk from Maryland. President-elect and Interim Secretary Janeen Berndt from Indiana. Vice President Debra Abee from North Carolina. Treasurer Vanessa Leigh from Texas. Counselor Elsie Chichester from Delaware. And on the Leadership Succession Committee, the elected members for a one-year term were Crizia Maldonado from Oregon, and for the two-year term, Shannon Hawkins from North Carolina. From the Psi Upsilon Advisory Board Committee Leaders, Communications Chair, Tammy Jo Tice Haroof from Texas, Finance Chair, Phil Tarantino from New York, and Shannon Krausen from Arkansas, Governance Chair, Tammy Owen from Kentucky, Induction Planning Chair, Christi Johnson from Utah, and Leadership Succession Chair, Candace Johnson from Michigan. Is it gonna? There it is. Yeah, there it is, Carol. Now it's switched. Good. Membership Involvement Chair, Patty Rowe from Indiana, Laura Simmons from Tennessee, Program Chair, Jeanette Benson from Ohio, Scholarship and Research Chair, Melina Jones from New York, Service Philanthropy Chair, Heidi Johnson Anderson from South Dakota, and Melody Parsons from South Dakota, and the Strategic Planning Chair, Debra Abee from North Carolina. There we are. So at this time, I would ask that each of the chapter leaders come off mute and accept the privilege and responsibility of their office or position in the Psi Upsilon chapter and repeat the duties of the office after me. So if you are off mute, repeat after me. I do undertake.
I do
undertake
To fulfill the duties of my office.
to fulfill
the duties of my office
To the best of my ability.
To the best
of my ability.
And to work for the purposes.
and
to work for the purposes
of Sigma Theta Tau International.
of
Sigma Theta Tau International.
Sigma Global Nursing Excellence.
Sigma
Global Nursing Excellence.
And of the Psi Upsilon Chapter.
And of the
Upsilon Chapter.
Congratulations to our 2019-2020 Psi Upsilon leadership team. Here's to a great year. Thank you, President Lisk, and thank you, chapter leaders.
Thank you. So congratulations. And now we have the opportunity to recognize and congratulate our inductees. Now, this was intentional. I know that it seemed like a long meeting, but we really wanted our new members to understand that this is a pretty robust undertaking with a lot of people working on your behalf, and we are so excited to be inducting you into the Honor Society of Nursing. So at this time, I would like to recognize each of our members, our newly inducted members: Melissa Abel, Linda Ackerson, Claudia Alvarado, Jennifer Anderson, Tara Leandre, Rodney Arcalis, Aaron Arnold, Lauren Araman, Corrine Aros, Karen Atkinson, Brittany Berryman, Heidi Bitter, Stephanie Blaine, Julie Boucher, Kelly Bowman, Katrin Ann Brailt, Kathleen Briones, Kamfet Brainick, Leanne Brooks, Felicia Natalie Brown, Amy Burgess, Vanessa Burton, Carrie Carter, Chris Kavanaugh, Marilyn Saleda, Uniqua Annette Shears, Elisa Cheever, Samantha Chavrant, Christina Clevenger, Jasmine Coker, Paula Crastus, Joy Culver, Christy Lee Daniels, Christy David, April Carlene DiCarlo, Jennifer Dick, Bradley Elverton, Melinda Fay, Micah Fensler, Leslie Nicole Finch, Jonathan Bamba Flores, Caitlin Lee Fogarty, Shanta Alicia Francis, Marla Danelia Frazier, Pamela Ellen Fuentes, Nisha Garcia, Lindsay Denise Garrow, Amy Gigar, Enrico Silvestri Giron, Amber Galagli, Maria Lemos Gonzalez, Joan Nicole Green, Christy Hamilton, Amy Harrison, Kristen Harton, Sarah Elizabeth Houch, Pamela Noel Hawk, Iris Hernandez, Belinda Herrera, Julia Herring, Corey Amber Hicks, Erica Higginbotham, Sabrina Hill, Angel Dawn Hilton, Nora Hively, Amara Holabaugh, Savelia Antoinette Howell, Danielle Heather Sue, Teresa Hudson, Allison Darby Hurt, Maria Gabriela Ginesta Peralto, Christy Johnson, Amanda Jorgensen Razor, Yoya Cabell, Francis Kelly, Aaron Kennedy, David Karasman, Amy Kirk, Angela Ray Knight, Donna Kroger, Jamie De La Pena, Christiana Matthews, Amanda Jo Mattingly, Jason Maudlin, Zachary Herman Medina Anyanozoa, Jessica McDonald, Shelley McDowell, Megan Mercer, Sheena Andrea Milter, Venetra Montford, Jennifer Erin Montgomery, Duong Wee Nyang Duong, Kathy L. Niswanger. I understand the slides are stuck. What are you last seeing names of, Janeen?
We're on H.
Okay, give me 1 second and I will go back. Oh. Okay. So I've already read the names, but I would like you to be able to see your names. So this is the those with last names starting with H. J, K, M, and I was reading N, Duong by Nyang Duong. Kathy Niswanger, are you seeing the N slide now?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Mitzi Oden, Jason Orlandi, Sierra Packard, Anna Payne, Tracy Picorni, Roseanne Reisweber, Tabitha Riley, Amanda Robinette, Kersha Michelle Saldine, April Dawn Scherer, Christine Seawright, Melissa Mary Sade, Christine Serrano, Elizabeth Marie Smith, Aaron Smithhauser, Amy Steinert, Vanessa Lynn Stevenson, Heather Strange, Nicole Ann Stupp, Ronald Sorrell. I understand that the slide's paused again. What slide are you seeing?
The one you just read.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
Okay, so I wonder if it's just taking time to catch up. So now are you seeing the keys?
Yes.
Casey Leggett Taylor, Alethea Thacker, Yvonne Thomas, Joe Treat Hogg, Robert Trenholm, Jade Trevino, Lindsay Tuffley, Suzanne Vaughn, Elizabeth Catherine Veach, and not last yet, Erica Warner, Nicole Christine Wasik-Ware, Jennifer Wazalewski, Jessica Watson, Kristen Smith-West, Dawn Way, Tanisha Williams, Rochelle Wilson, Amanda Wilson, Stacy May Wolasek, Dixie Flock Woodham, Dawn Wright, and last but not least, Susan Louise Ziegler. So I thank you so much for accepting the invitation to join Sigma and Psi Upsilon. I also would like to recognize members that have joined us as a transfer from another chapter or as a multiple chapter member. Jennifer Lee Bowen, Lindsay Bridges, Wendy Hannon, Ruth Ann McKnight-Chelius, Alicia Milberger, Stephanie Ramirez, Karen Sadowski, and Debra Owens. So at this time, I would like you to stand, if you are able, and accept the affirmation of membership in Sigma, and repeat after me. I accept membership
I accept
membership
in Sigma Theta Tau International
in Sigma
Theta Tau International,
and I pledge to fulfill its commitment
and I pledge to fulfill its commitment
to nursing excellence, knowledge, service, and leadership.
To nursing
excellence, knowledge,
service, and leadership
Throughout my career.
Throughout my career.
Congratulations, everybody. We are so excited that you're joining the chapter. And we also want to recognize that you are now part of a greater chapter, an international friendship of nursing. So to that point, I'm very excited to introduce our keynote speaker. Naomi Tutishi is an early career academic working as a clinical lecturer at the School of Nursing in Queensland University of Technology. Naomi resides in the city of Brisbane in the suburb of Ashgrove in Australia, and she has worked as an RN and a nurse educator for 20 years within the specialty of cardiothoracic nursing, both adult and pediatric. Her area of research interest is simulation and teaching and learning. She'll share with you a little bit about her journey in her Sigma research grant and how she was introduced to Sigma through a special initiative and program. She has become a very good friend of mine, and at this point, I would very much like to introduce Dr. Naomi Tutishi.
Thank you, Carol. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your introduction. And I want to congratulate the new Sigma members. I feel honoured to be sharing my Sigma journey with you tonight as you start your journey. And I'm really excited to have heard about all the work that your chapter is doing. It's phenomenal and quite inspiring. I'm talking to you now from Brisbane, which is the capital of Queensland, which Carol said, and it's one of the states in Australia. It's a subtropical city, but at the moment we are heading into winter, but it's probably fairly mild and temperate. Where I live, we're bordered by the Pacific Ocean on the east coast and mountains and bushland on the west. And I am actually looking forward to joining with you at the biennial in November in Washington. So I'll be coming over and looking forward to the incredible experience I hear that the convention is. I live with my family here, and I have a husband and 2 daughters. And as Carol said, we live in a suburb called Ashgrove, which is quite close to where the photo on the next slide, you'll see a photo of the 2 girls.
Oh, are you seeing your slide with the girls?
No, not yet.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I will reshare the screen. 1 second. There we go. Okay, are you seeing it now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's the map. That's where we are. Whilst we're a long, long way away from you, there are many shared stories around nursing. And anyway, so my family, we live in a fairly bushy area, and you can see my 2 girls there patting a kangaroo. This is at a local wildlife centre that rescues native animals, and they had emus and wombats and snakes, possums. So we do live quite close to bush and enjoy the native wildlife around us. It was kind of like you've probably heard of Steve Irwin, and it was kind of like a miniature version of his Australia Zoo.
Wonderful.
So my professional academic journey, I work at the University of Queensland, the Queensland University of Technology, which has the 2nd largest school of nursing in Australia. We have around 3,500 nurses enrolled in a Bachelor of Nursing program, which they study on campus but have clinical placements over the 3-year degree. We also have postgraduate courses, including a doctorate program, and you can see my colleagues Sandra and Diana in their PhD regalia at their graduation last year. I was excited to complete my PhD at the end of 2016, and with the end of this journey of studying, a new one started in January 2017. So you can see that in 2017, so I'll just give you a bit of a background about my journey. In 2017, I returned to full-time work after studying for a PhD and working part-time as a faculty member and a research assistant. So I did that, and I started the job as a clinical lecturer in nursing. Last year, which was my 2nd year as a lecturer in the School of Nursing, I was really still finding my way forward in what is a challenging and busy job, and I felt like I was just keeping my head above water. My boss, who's also a Sigma member, mentioned a mentoring program that Sigma were running, and she was participating in it as a mentor, and she thought I would benefit from the experience. Now, I'm not really quite sure what that was saying about perhaps how I was going at the time, but anyway, I actually hadn't heard of Sigma before and was quite intrigued and curious to find out more about this international nursing group. So not thinking too much about it, I applied for the Sigma Global Leadership Mentoring Program and was accepted. Now, this was one of the best underthought decisions I have made in my professional nursing career. I cannot emphasize enough how game-changing this step was. So in 2018, it was the start of a marvelous journey where I connected with colleagues locally, but a whole new world of nursing colleagues was opening up to me by the Sigma network and the mentoring program. So my small world at QUT was now viewed from the perspective of one university in a collection of many seeking to educate nurses for this rapidly changing world. So by connecting with other NurseNet educators and clinicians, both within the mentoring program and via the Sigma Circle, which Carol mentioned earlier, I realised that problems that I was experiencing were not necessarily unique, but common to many nurse educators and clinicians around the globe. Suddenly, I went from feeling overwhelmed and alone and to quite purposeful and hopeful. And this was by being able to talk to others within the mentee group. We did this via online across many time zones, and we were able to troubleshoot and improve not only our backyard type of issues, but also contribute to the experience of other nurses and clinicians and the challenges they were facing. It was also quite inspiring to hear of nurses working in underdeveloped countries or in countries that were in crisis, and how they were still able to deliver education and care to persons and nurses within their nursing programs or within their care. It gave meaning to the saying of first world problems. So the Sigma Global Leadership Mentoring Program was really this new horizon for me. It allowed me to collaborate with my peers, but also to be mentored by a nurse leader of exceptional standing and dedication. Now, you may have joined the docs by now, but my mentor is Dr. Carol Lisk, your president. From the very beginning of our mentor-mentee partnership, I have been guided and challenged to be the best leader I can be. Now, look, I'm not in any sort of management position, but I soon realised that on a day-to-day basis, I was needing to display and enact leadership qualities. Now, this could be with my interactions with students, colleagues, or senior nurses. So it was actually a real luxury to be able to discuss with Carol, my mentor, on a regular basis, problems that I was encountering in these sort of daily leadership concerns, bounce around ideas on how to manage, and then report back to her on my successes and certainly some failures as well. Now, the funny thing was I'd be always sharing with my colleagues about what new and awesome ideas and strategies Carol had helped me work through. And so they would often ask me what my mentor would do in a similar circumstance that they would actually find themselves in. So here we have a situation where my colleagues in my local community benefited from a Sigma nursing leader in another continent who they never met or talked to directly. So that, to me, was the power of connect and collaborate that Sigma provides. So Sigma, it doesn't just end with working through leadership concerns or clinical issues. It also, Sigma supports you from a research perspective. So as Carol mentioned, my area of research that I'm interested in is teaching and learning. Unfortunately, there is little funding for research in this area within my university and actually within Australia more broadly. But by talking with Carol through our partnership, our mentor-mentee partnership, and she orientated me to the Sigma website during our initial meetings, I learned that Sigma actually funds research in teaching and learning. So I applied for a grant last year and was so excited to receive a $20,000 US grant, which when converts to Australian money is a significant amount of money, for my research project on clinical reasoning in simulation. So we've been able to collect our data, and we're starting to analyse this data now with the support of funds from Sigma. So I've been able to employ research assistants to help me in that process. So this has also then enabled me to start to be able to write up the research results, and that then is the first step towards disseminating these results to the international community. So this would be, and it would not have been possible without the help of Sigma. So this brings me to transform. So in the last 12 months, reflecting back, I think I have, through Carol's direct input and Sigma's support and their broader network of colleagues and connections, I've been able to transform. I mean, certainly I'm hoping that the outcomes from the research that we've been able to conduct will transform eventually clinical practice by nurses and improve patient outcomes. But I'm also hopeful that by connecting with others through Sigma, that I'll be able to continue to collaborate on future research projects to improve the teaching and learning experience of all nursing students. Now, in fact, that has actually started to happen. So my experience with Sigma and the support of Carol as my Sigma mentor has given me the confidence to reach out and connect and collaborate with a nurse academic in Germany, Professor Norma Haas, who you can see here on the slide. Through this connection that we've made, I'm now part of a research team for a large international study on sustainability in nursing. Now, this is something I wouldn't have even dreamed of being able to do 12 months ago. I'm pretty certain that this risky step and working way outside of my comfort zone would not have been possible without the encouragement of Carol as my mentor. So the international networking that has come about through Sigma has really confirmed the call to action around connect, collaborate, catalyse and transform. So Carol's mentoring has enabled me to be transformed, as I mentioned, through positive and supportive but challenging conversations. It's improved my self-awareness and understanding. I'm now better able to serve others and improve the provision of nursing education. Mostly now I have the confidence to give it a go, try new things and see how they go. I wish you all the best now as you start your Sigma journey, and I'm sure you will transform and make a positive difference to the patients in your care and or to the students who you teach. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It has truly been a pleasure working with you, and I might say that I have learned more from her, I think, than it sounds like you've learned from me. But thank you so much. It's been just an honor, and we are so looking forward to hopefully connecting personally at the Sigma Biennial Convention in November in the Washington, D.C. area. So Naomi, thank you so much for joining us today across the world. From Australia, we are just delighted to have you here. Thank you for that beautiful presentation. I appreciate it, and I'm very moved by it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the good news is for all of you, I know it's been a long evening and it's a late night, but much appreciation to all of you, to my chapter colleagues, to our current and new nationwide members. Thank you so much for being a part of Sigma, for making us the wonderful chapter that we are. This is not an undertaking of one person. It's because of all of us and our commitment to nursing and our commitment to each other and to the success of our members that we can be and continue to be successful. So the only thing I would like to ask you is please check out our website and watch for the events that are occurring. Take advantage of our benefits. Reach out and ask about the grants and scholarships. And most importantly, participate, show up. I know it gets to be late, but we would love for you to join us for our programs. We are going to be hosting a poster research and evidence-based practice symposium in Salt Lake City when we get together with our College of Health Professions partners, and we will be recording that and putting those posters on our website. I know that Dr. Benson and Starkey and Dr. Dahdal are offering some phenomenal programming about mentoring and health-related issues. And the one thing that I would like to remind you is we also started a network collaborative effort about, as Heidi mentioned, about the opioid crisis. And we know that that touches all of our lives, both professionally and personally, our neighbors, maybe family members. So we invite you to please watch for that series that Dr. Cindy Thomas is going to be offering over the next year that supports our sustainable development goals through the United Nations. And then a reminder too about October. Think about what you'd like to do for Founders Day. Many of you are already volunteering and committing to efforts for your communities. So let's record that. Let's take credit for all the great work you're doing. And check out our website and stay involved. We are just so excited that you are a member of our chapter. And I always like to leave many of our new inductees that when you're inducted as a student or a new graduate, it is an academic honor. But I challenge you to make this a professional mandate. Stay involved, stay connected at whatever level you can, because every little bit of your participation, we're only as great as the whole. And so every person's little commitment or large commitment makes us the chapter that we are. And I thank you so much for bearing with our technology issues and for staying with us through this last 70 minutes. Thank you again and have a great night, and congratulations to all of our new inductees.